harassment all day long, non-stop. I work a full-time job, not like these other bums, degenerates, and lowlifes, but apparently it's, let's crucify this guy. He made a healthcare presentation for the 51st state. Let's harass him on his timeline, because God knows none of us work. We're bleeders, suckers of the system. All Gil McGowan and his lunatic friends, all from communism. This guy loves communism. I'm going to tell you all something. And these people hammering me about Canada's glorious healthcare. That glorious healthcare comes from gals who work for a living. People like me and a lot of you. That's how we have that. I'm not saying it's a bad system. What makes me laugh is these lunatics, these alt-left losers, can't even be bothered to watch my presentation. They're going to tell me how it is. I'm going to tell you how it is. Do you know who's got better health care than Canada? That blows Canada out of the water. Everything you can think of is covered, 100% free pharma, free everything. Cuba, oh yeah, you get it all in Cuba, but you can't go anywhere, you can't have a life, you've got no money, you wait for your monthly allowance, that is peanuts, chump change. I got tons of friends who've been to Cuba. They make money here, they go for the exchange, they live like a king there, but all the people who live there are broke and destitute. I even know a lot of Cubans. I even work with Cubans. I know the whole history of Cuba and their right to escape to the United States. Yeah, they can escape to the United States, claim asylum immediately on the grounds escaping communism. Did you all know that? That's an immigration deal for USA to Cuba. Right now, Cuba's got nothing for economy. Russia supplied it. Russia in a war with Ukraine. Russia can't supply Cuba anymore. You know who picks up the tab? Mexico. Mexico picks up the tab. They're going to be under sanctions and trade embargoes, just like Canada, very shortly. People asking me about the 51st state. Oh, you better explain to me why we should do this. You're not going to have a choice. You're going to be a Cuban or a Venezuela. That's what you're going to be. And I am sorry to say, in your economic system, unlike Cuba, when that dollar crashes, all of your health care out the window. You'll never get that story from the old communist Gil McGowan. And if you lunatics want to follow that, good. Go follow it. Because in the next 3 to 6 months, you're going to see the economic depression in reality over Canada. USA isn't fucking around. Fuck around and find out. If you didn't see Donald Trump's post, do you think presidents fuck around? Do you? Do you think any president doesn't stick with what they said? Last time Trump crippled Alberta's oil, crippled it on a test. On a test. You folks forget about $5 a barrel oil? You forgot about sanctions through what? Oh yeah, 10% tariffs. And USA drill baby drill up their production, crippled Alberta. Now a war has saved us. That war is going bye-bye very soon. Very soon. And Alberta and Canada get to go back to where things were before. And what? And what? Oh yeah, you don't have your own value and supply chains. You don't even have a military, even if you had those, to protect them anywhere in the world, meaning you're at the bequest of your only trade partner, USA, by an extremely large margin. A foolish, foolish truth of Canada. Only a fool would get into that. It was complained about by industry leaders, by myself in politics. already going on 10 years ago. 8 years I ran on that. The jig is up. It's over. USA doesn't believe your politicians anymore. It's over. USA is transitioning to replace a lot of our energy. In fact, without sanctions and trade embargoes, which I believe are going to come anyway, it's going to be by 2028, half of all of that you sell the USA. No more. That alone destroys this country forevermore. That alone puts us in a Great Depression. But that's not the end all and be all of it. USA's not dumb. They want their security. They want their sovereignty. And they're going to get it by depressing us through economic force. And no health care is going to save you. None of your social programs are going to save you. You know why? Because you won't have an economy, guys like me and a lot of others paying to make that happen. I'm not complaining, and I never did, about health care in Canada. I gave the most glorious presentation, the most glorious detailed presentation that a lot of folks, if they took the time, at least I would think if you had an IQ over 110, you should gravitate to that. You should understand that. Average people should at least gravitate to that. If you can't, and you're a one-word wonder because your crown made you that way, you're fucked. You're royally fucked. And because you're fucked, me and my family are fucked too. And that's the sad scope and reality. There are massive publications, global publications in high academia. I was going through it with the American Benjamin Ebley today, showcasing the things I read that I'm going into right now on America and how they're going to deal with us. It's real, it's credible, it's verifiable. And we're going to lose all these things we take for granted, some of which are awesome feats of genius in their own right that should be merged with the United States, not lost to the Dust Bowl, not lost to lunatic commies who think they're going to make a new world in Canada. And that, don't worry, all these things are magically going to happen for Canada after we're destroyed by USA. The answer is no, folks. No, you're never going to secure those value and supply chains on your own. You're going to have to transition to another power if it's not the United States. And I'm sorry, but I hate all the other powers. I don't think we would do well transitioning into any of those. I think our way of life is gone. I think First People's way of life will be gone. And if you can't figure that out, that everything you have is because of that of the United States, I don't know what else to tell you. You've got a screw loose. You're falling for propaganda that, you know what? All these magical things that transitioned in Canada largely after World War II is because USA was the superpower who won that war, and we happened to be their very next door neighbor. That's it. That's the truth. 51st state is the only option. People don't want to believe it. That's fine. Sanctions and trade embargoes are going to train you very quickly, and you will be begging. You will be begging for it in the months to come. It may very well be too late. That's sad. And sadly, that fucks me up and my family too. And you know what? A lot of my friends. And I guess that's the way it's going to be. But you don't have a right to smash on a working man when you didn't even take the time at your foolishly low IQ or your superiorly institutionalized, meaning programmed brain, meaning you're at the bequest of what people tell you in 2 or 3 sentence blurbs. If that's you, I want nothing to do with you. You're a lunatic, a loser, and I don't want anything to do with it. The only thing I showcase is grand detail of things as they are, better than most people I know. I don't know anyone who does that. And if you can't take 5 minutes out of your life or an hour in a truly glorious presentation on healthcare, one of a kind, you'll never ever see in this country by all those who subjugate you. Subjugate you, live high on the hog, paid by unions, civil societies, associations, government entities, boards, bureaus, you name it. This is a fat-ass autocracy, a divine elite. They're 20% of the population, and they live off your and my sweat of our brow, us busting our hump every day of our lives, where our kids don't get the same quality of life we had before, never mind our parents before us. Doing the same amount, maybe even better, but it's not enough because they're liars, cheats, and thieves. The whole lot of them. And sadly, they got that 20% under their belt and another 20% at the bottom feeding off that who don't want to contribute. That's what makes socialism strong. And over time, socialism weakens everybody because more and more people go on the tit and less people can support that many. When all I ever wanted to do was raise a family and do the best for my children, sure, charity, help out the guy who's trying his best, who maybe fell down, but not a free-for-all. And I'll never support that. That's not me. It's never been me. I've worked hard my whole life, and I don't have to answer to any of these leftist lunatics who in fact steal my money through some of my organizations and then have the audacity to pound on me when I just put in a full day's work. And you're going to get your sycophants to sick him on his timeline. I work for a living, you low-life degenerate socialist piece of shit. You're a sponge, like the conservatives, the liberals, the NDP, and you're a communist, Gil. You couldn't put my presentation together if your life depended on it. You're a squirrely weasel, a liar, a cheat, and a thief. Worse than all the rest, because you lie to so many who actually need you and what you propose in some organizational level. But you never get there because the money corrupts you, the crown corrupts you, and you're the worst, a fake communist. You're not even a real communist because you're infused with the crown. I know the good people of Canada don't know these things, and I know it's never going to be brought to them in any major detail. I know AI is never going to get there, not as global academia won't feed it. And why? Because they want to be paid too for their intellectual property. I get that. I'm blessed in this life. I show as much as I can to all of you. In about 45 minutes time, I'm with top academics in the United States, some from Canada, very limited, other countries that are in this right now, and I'll give to you what I can in the truth, because I have no reason to lie. I sweat it out, I suffer at work like everybody else. Some jobs better than others. I'm not getting any younger, but I work honestly, I earn my money honestly, and I give of myself without asking for nothing. So you decide, people. I'm not here to take on the communists. You want to be communist? You're not even a real communist, like I said. In the crown system, you're bullshit. You're a socialist and fascist, selling a bullshit communist narrative that can never be in Canada. I know that. And fascism is real. That's the tier class structure. Crown is great at hiding this, great at the double speak, the double cross, and you have to go to high academia to learn that. And I'm sorry I can't deliver that to everybody, but read your Constitution for once in your miserable fucking life. Everybody, read your fucking Constitution, start to finish. Read it as it is, and then go read some like Switzerland or other country. Honest, and I hope people share it out from the heart. Truth, common sense told to you. Wake up. 51st state Canada is the only option. Only option. Very little wiggle room or negotiation. You're going to have to go through this, or you become a Venezuela or a Cuba. And then you can brag about your health care, if you can even get to a hospital, if you can even feed yourself, if you can even turn the lights on. You can forget about internet and AI, You can forget about all those treasures. You're going to worry about your winters. Yeah, fact, reality. That's my video. Share. Get it out there. God bless. Bye now.